There are moments in life when the world feels too heavy, too small, too tight around your chest. For Lucas, this wasn't just a moment, it had become his everyday. His world, once vibrant and full of promise, had slowly faded into a monochrome of existence. He walked the same path every morning past the old bakery, the silent bookshop, the square where children once played. But now, everything felt dull, muted. Every brick on the road felt like a reminder of plans that had failed, dreams that didn't work out, and effort that seemed to matter to no one. He had lost something inside him, a spark, a flicker of light he didn't know how to get back. His routine was a constant, heavy weight, a cycle of waking, walking, and wishing the day would just end. The laughter of others sounded distant, like a language he no longer understood. He felt invisible, a ghost moving through a city that was very much alive, but not for him. One afternoon, as the sky turned a soft, forgiving orange, Lucas was walking through the park. He saw an old man struggling with his walking stick. It had slipped from his grasp and fallen just out of reach. People glanced, a few even hesitated, but no one stopped. They were caught in their own currents, their own deadlines. But Lucas, for a reason he couldn't explain, stopped. The world slowed down. He walked over. "Here, let me help," he said softly, his voice a little rough from disuse. He picked up the walking stick and gently helped the old man settle back onto the bench. The man looked up, his face a road map of years lived, his eyes tired but holding a deep, warm light. He smiled. "Son," he said, his voice gentle but firm. "Life gets heavy for everyone. I've seen more winners than I can count. But even on your hardest days, you can choose to stand for someone else." Those words didn't fix everything. They weren't a magic spell that erased the ache in Lucas's chest. But they cracked something open inside him. A small, almost imperceptible sliver of light found its way through. The next day, that tiny crack of light remained. Walking home, Lucas noticed a teenage boy on the curb, his face a mask of frustration, fiddling with a broken bicycle chain. Once again, people walked past, lost in their phones, their thoughts, their own destinations. The Lucas from a week ago would have walked past too, his own gloom a heavy blanket. But today was different. He hesitated for only a second before kneeling down. "Want a hand?" he asked. The boy looked up, surprised. Together, with greasy fingers and a bit of trial and error, they managed to fix the chain. The boy's face broke into a wide, grateful grin, as if Lucas hadn't just fixed a bike, but saved his entire evening. He thanked Lucas profusely and rode off, a little wobbly at first, then disappearing around the corner. Lucas continued walking, but his steps felt lighter. He was feeling something he hadn't felt in weeks, maybe months, a quiet sense of purpose. It was small, but it was real. Days passed, and Lucas started seeing the world differently. It was as if that small act of kindness had adjusted the lens through which he viewed his surroundings. He began noticing the people he had ignored for so long, the background characters in his own dreary film. He saw the janitor in his building who always smiled, even though no one ever seemed to thank him. He noticed the woman at the grocery store who carried far too many bags, but insisted she was fine. He saw the shy kid at the bus stop, always looking lost in his own world, headphones on, a barrier against everyone. And Lucas began offering small moments of connection. A simple thank you and a smile for the janitor, an offer to help the woman with her groceries, a quick compliment to the shy kid on his band t-shirt. These weren't grand gestures, they weren't heroic acts. But every time someone's face lit up with a surprised smile, every time he received a genuine thanks, Lucas felt a little less empty. The hollow space inside him was slowly being filled, not with grand achievements, but with small, shared moments of humanity. One evening, Lucas found himself back on that same park bench where he had helped the old man. But this time, he wasn't hiding from the world, he was a part of it. He watched the sunset reflect on the lake, painting the water in hues of gold and purple. He listened to the distant laughter from across the square, And it didn't sound foreign anymore. It sounded like music. He felt the evening wind brush past his face, not as a cold reminder of his solitude, but as a gentle nudge, reminding him that life was still moving and that he could move with it. It was then that he realized something profound, something powerful. You don't need your own life to be perfect to bring light to others. You don't have to have all the answers for yourself to offer a helping hand. And in the very act of giving that light, of sharing that kindness, you slowly, almost accidentally, begin to find your own. This realization sparked a new direction. Lucas started volunteering at the local community garden on weekends. He, who had felt so disconnected, was now planting seeds, pulling weeds, and turning soil. The physical work cleared his thoughts, and working alongside other people, strangers, who slowly became friends, cleared his heart. They shared stories over muddy gloves and watered seedlings. They talked about their lives, their small joys, their struggles. In that shared space, Lucas learned that everyone carried some kind of weight. His wasn't unique, it was part of the human experience. And slowly, not all at once, but piece by piece, the oppressive heaviness that had clouded his life began to fade. It was replaced by the simple satisfaction of watching a seed sprout, the warmth of a shared joke, the quiet comfort of belonging. Lucas didn't change the world. He didn't become a famous hero. He didn't magically fix every problem in his life. But he did something deeper, something more essential. He rediscovered the part of himself that believed in hope, in kindness, in second chances. He learned that his own value wasn't tied to his successes or failures, but to the compassion he was willing to show, both to others and, eventually, to himself. And maybe his story is a small reminder for you, too. Even when your own world feels dark, when your own light feels dimmed, you still carry an ember that can brighten someone else's day. And in the warmth of their smile, in the light you create for them, you may just discover your own again. If this story moved you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Your support helps us bring more stories like this to life. Thank you for watching.